Behind home plate, we bring it. Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. All day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. Always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your Endearing Center host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Hey, Matt. It's nice to have you in office form.
Yeah,
you're speaking all quiet like you're in a business meeting.
I know, this is all weird for me. I got a cup of coffee here instead of my usual beverage and doing it at work so we could find the time. I flew home last night from Maryland, so our schedule's all screwed up. That's all right. We're making it work.
Yeah, and we're recording early because I'm going to get one more game in before I get out of here. So we're recording this on Monday afternoon. It's a little lunch break recording. It means I'll be able to release it early, so maybe you can listen to this on the way to the game Monday night if you're going there like me.
Yeah, this is really Josh's fault for having 3 games attended is not enough in 3 days. He's got to make it 4 in 4 days. That's what it is, right? 4 in 4 days?
Yeah, it's 4 in 4 days. Well, technically 5 days. Because I had Thursday of just sitting around not doing anything. Thanks to that wonderful forecasting by the Orioles to say, hey, 80 degrees and sunny is a horrible day for a opening day. Let's push it to Friday where we can get it cold and muggy and a little drizzle.
We can put a man on the moon, but we can't get the weather right. This goes back to all the slander that's headed the way of weathermen for being inaccurate with predictions. Usually it's just saved for winter, complaining about weathermen during winter, but now, or weather reporters, now we can complain about them during baseball season too.
Right. Does it have anything to do with John Angelos wanting to make it over to the Springsteen concert on Friday as well?
I don't think it's John Angelos' decision, because if John Angelos was smart, he would have had the game and then tried to start it and tried to cancel it, so he could have gotten those concession sales.
Oh, good point.
So that was
after all, I'll tell you what. Money. After opening series with New York in town and then a giveaway on Sunday, I don't know how the pricing works at Camden Yards, but I know they raised the price on different teams. So I know the Yankees come to town, they charge more. I swear they charge more on giveaway days as well.
Oh, you think so?
Here's the other thing they did is they also closed off the left field upper
cheap
deck,
seats. Yeah.
Cheap seats to force you to buy more expensive seats. So all I know is I went on Saturday and I bought 2 tickets and it was $66.
Yeah.
I went on Sunday, kids opening day, still against the Yankees. Now it's the Nickelodeon bobblehead giveaway. 2 seats, $94.
Jeez.
And both times I've gone up and said, hey, I want the kids cheer free package, 2 cheapest seats you've got. And this is what they charge me. So that whole report about John Angelos making $64 million profit totally makes sense now.
Yeah, I don't know when this happened. I feel like I just woke up today and this happened. And we're going to talk about our experience. We both went to opening day and talk about our experience at opening day and a lot of good stuff from that. But I don't know when this happened. I feel like I woke up one day and all of a sudden ticket prices were like I in my head I was thinking ticket prices are, you can get $15 for the cheap seats. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, they do. I will give the Orioles credits. They do have Monday through Thursday Utah Street bleachers for $10.
Yeah, that's good.
For now. I like that. That's a good deal. But other than this, I hate this flexible pricing, because if someone asks me how much does it cost to go to an Oriole game, I can't tell you. Because I'm going to have to ask what day, where do you want to sit? What's the weather like? Is there a giveaway? Who's in town?
Yeah, now I have to plan my trips to Camden Yards when they're not playing the Yankees, which means more Yankee fans probably there who are willing to pay the more expensive seats than I'm not.
I mean, let's talk about that. We went opening day, and maybe let's see how it goes. Maybe later in the day I'll give you a little rundown about my opening day with Birdland Sports and doing the booth with the Orioles radio network.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to get to some of the
but-
pregame stuff too, and kind of all the festivities around opening day.
So we can get to all that, but let's talk about these Yankee fans, because opening day, it was mostly Oriole fans.
Very few Yankee fans.
Very few Yankee fans.
Can I also say something about that?
Yeah.
I want it. I live close to Brave Stadium, Truist Park. I want it be comfortable going to an opening day, even if they're playing the Orioles. I don't think I would ever go to an opening day Braves game to cheer for the Orioles. I feel like opening day is for the home team.
I went well, it depends. See,
Okay.
and my argument, Yankee fans will be able to use it right on us, because I went to opening day last year in Tampa. And my argument is, well, Tampa Bay doesn't sell enough tickets to fill it up.
They weren't going to sell it anyway. Yeah.
Right. And that's what Yankee fans can say to Baltimore as well.
No, we would have sold out without Yankee fans.
Would we?
Opening day. Absolutely would have. It was a sellout. It was a sellout before game day.
I know they announced it was a sellout before game day.
And I think it was more than a sellout. I think they over capacity, because we get to the crowds.
Oh, you want to talk concessions?
Every seat was full in the stands, and you couldn't move anywhere when you went into the concessions. So right. I don't think the numbers exaggerated on it being a sellout.
Well, no, the number that they announced as paid attendance was above the occupancy of the stadium.
Yeah, which makes sense, because it felt like that. Yeah.
But then instantly Saturday, it seemed like it was 50-50 Yankee fans.
Yeah, a lot of Yankee fans on Saturday.
And Sunday, sorry, Birdland did not show up on Sunday. There were a lot of kids, but it had to be 60-40 Yankee fans.
Yeah, especially the weekend, right? We talked about this. Yankee fans will come down for the weekend, and they could probably do the whole tripper than what it costs to go to Yankee games.
But it was nice to see full crowds. It was nice to see and it was funny because opening day sold out, packed, above occupancy or capacity. Saturday, still a really big crowd. Sunday, a good sized crowd. I'm going tonight, and it's the Oakland Athletics in town. It's got to be what, 10,000 people?
Yeah. It's gonna be no one there. I was surprised by Saturday's crowd. I thought, my memory, and I would be curious to see compared to other years, but memory was after opening day, like no one comes to game 2.
Correct.
But that wasn't the case. It was a really good crowd on Saturday.
That's my memory too. I wondered how much of this had to do with the fact that it was spring break, that this week is spring break up here.
Yeah.
If that led to bigger crowds on Saturday.
and in New York, right, a lot of people had off for Easter, and so it's easier to travel.
And let's not forget the real thing, winning baseball. This team's exciting.
Well, that's the thing we don't know. So that would be a case with Monday, right? Yeah. A typical crowd on a Monday, first Monday after opening day, we can look it up, but it's probably around 10,000.
Right.
So,
is this also the first season with the 6:30 starts during the school year?
I feel like we did this last year too. I'm a huge fan, but I feel like this was last year too.
Yep. I'm a huge fan as well. So excited about that tonight.
I mean,
and you know what I'm also excited.
Play. That's I could be in bed by 9. Let's go.
Well, that's what I'm excited. I'm excited tonight to actually see the pitch clock work, because I love the pitch clock watching on TV, and I love the pitch clock in person. But when the Yankees are in town, they bring that whole thing to a stop with mound visits and huddling everyone up and this and that. And the pitch clock does not slow down the New York Yankees.
Yeah. And can I say I like that? When I'm going to games, I'm okay with the game dragging on, because, my kid wants to go do things. I'm going to miss a couple innings. If you want to get concessions, that's 3 innings right there. So I'm actually okay with a slower game when I'm at the game. I feel like I just want the faster game when I'm watching on TV.
You have to time your bathroom breaks, because I'm the type that in the past I always avoid the between in and bathroom breaks, because if it's a large crowd, there's a line, because everybody goes between innings. So you had to find it. In the past, it would be the slow batter or the slow pitcher. You can run in and out. For me this weekend, my trick was when they're bringing in a new pitcher. When someone's coming out of the bullpen, that's the time to jet.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. There were some lines at the bathrooms, but no. As far as the game itself, or before we get to the game, I don't think, Josh, were you there when people ran out into the red on the orange carpet?
No,
and they introduced players.
No, you want to start there? Let's start with opening day, and let's start with the pregame.
Yeah, and then we can talk about also new additions to the stadium, and how we like those and
Yeah,
if we think they're
lack
enough
of
of those.
employees.
But I'll make this comment. Biggest ovations. I don't think this is surprising. And these three maybe we could disagree with as far as who got the bigger ones, but I felt like these three were far and ahead the biggest ovations. Josh, you know who those three were? Who had I felt like had the biggest ovations by far.
Fire me up guy.
No players. I'm talking about.
I know.
Fire me up guy.
There's some controversy that the fire me up guy got to run out when every year forever it's been a little kid.
Oh really? I was not into that controversy. I don't care about the controversy.
I don't care either. In fact, I wasn't even in the stadium. Yeah, I mean it's easy. Adley Rushman.
Yes, I thought he was the third highest.
Gunnar Henderson.
I don't think he was top three.
Ryan McKenna.
Yes, and Ryan McKenna was the biggest. No, I thought Grayson Rodriguez had the biggest.
Okay, I see. It didn't even cross my mind that he got an introduction because he got pulled up the day before.
Yeah, part of his large response might have been too because he was the first big name who came out there. So
right, the future.
Yeah, and Adley, I would put him as kind of third because he didn't even run out. I think he was warming up the pitcher. So
okay, got it. Yep, that distracts it.
And then the second biggest I thought was not Gunnar. I thought it was actually Felix Bautista.
Okay, that makes sense. Bautista's an exciting player, and thankfully we got to see him on opening day.
Yeah, I feel like this is unusual for people to love. I mean, we liked Zach Britton a lot, and he was great.
Yeah.
But I feel like to have like one of the favorite players be a reliever is pretty interesting.
Well, it's the hype. It's that he's this big, huge guy. It's
there was 100 miles per hour.
It's the intro with Omar when he goes out in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. In the past, we've been to games where the closer gets booed on the orange carpet.
Yeah, we have. So that was.
So who was the number one?
No, I said Grayson. It was Grayson, Bautista, and Adley. Yeah,
right.
Then probably Gunnar 4.
I heard Hyde got a pretty big
he
applause
did
also.
Yeah, Hyde did get a big applause.
I like that. Yeah. I like Hyde.
Yeah, and there was no boos for McKenna. There was no one got booed on opening day.
It's not appropriate.
Except for the Yankees. All the Yankees got booed pretty good, which is good to hear.
Yes. Owen was very excited that some lady stood up with 2 big middle fingers for Aaron Judge.
Oh, I didn't see that, but yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
You don't want 9-year-old.
You don't want to see kids flipping people off, but if kids are going to see people getting flipped off,
it might as well be Aaron Judge.
It might as well be Aaron Judge.
Exactly.
And then my only other comment about the pregame stuff, I thought Kevin Brown did a really nice job. I thought the sound system was fine. You could hear him and everything. I thought that was good. All
right, because the sound system was bad once the game started.
Yeah, they need a new sound system.
Yes.
But it was like I feel like you can never hear any words on that thing. But no. I thought it was fine for Kevin Brown. I thought he did a nice job with that. And then my only other comment was Governor Wes Moore, and I don't care anything about politics in Maryland anymore since I don't live there. I don't even know anything about Wes Moore. But his first pitch, the ceremonial first pitch, was enough that if I was a resident of Maryland, I would never vote for Wes Moore.
Oh wait, it was bad?
It was bounced within maybe 4 feet of him. It was really, really bad.
Did he go up to the mound or he threw it?
No, he was in front of the mound. He was in front of the mound and didn't get close to the plate. It was bad.
Oh, who did he throw it to?
Oh, I don't know. It was weird because it was he and his son and his daughter all did it, and so there's 3 catchers. Okay. I was just focused on him. Well, I don't know who was catching, but he bounced it. He bounced it maybe 2 bounces before it got there.
Oh, that's really bad. But good thing as of today or as of yesterday, the Orioles have 3 catchers on their roster because that's what you need.
Yeah, well, that's why, because all these ceremony first pitches, they realize we don't have enough people catching these bouncing balls.
Yeah, hopefully they're making a move and Baboom or whatever's going to go away today, but I haven't seen the move yet.
Dad was a little disappointed. I didn't think about this, but he thought, not disappointed might not be the right word, but he thought that, the opening ceremony first pitch on opening day should go to someone more directly connected with the Orioles, like a former player or something. You get Jim Palmer out there, Bruce Robinson or whatever.
But remember, the Orioles are in the middle of negotiating with the state for more money so they can buy that bigger sound system.
Right.
So you're going to suck up.
That.
But you're going to suck up to the governor because you want this money.
You're saying it's politics here.
It's politics. It's totally politics. There's I wouldn't even have he's the governor, Westmore.
Yes.
Who's Brandon Stokes or Stokes? Is that the mayor of Baltimore? I think the mayor of
Scott is the mayor. Yeah.
Scott. I think the mayor of Baltimore would be more appropriate than the governor of Maryland for opening day.
Well, did you see what he's wearing for opening day? I'm not gonna go into outfit
No,
choice.
we're not going politics.
But did you see what he's wearing? He was wearing.
No.
He doesn't look like your typical mayor. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but it doesn't matter. He's the mayor of Baltimore. If you can't get the president, and you can't get Cal Ripken Jr.,
who was at the game, by the way.
Right, who was at the game.
So I think he could have threw out a pitch.
I've never seen him throw out a pitch.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can't get a Oriole like that, then I think you go mayor before governor.
Okay, because I could list about 20 guys who I would have had before. I mean, I would even go with a Lamar Jackson.
That would.
I don't know how that negotiation would.
That would have been a great troll job.
Or if you could have Ravens could have worked out a little faster. OBJ, get an Odell Beckham in there. Throughout the first pitch, that would have been cool.
They should definitely try to get that done this week.
Yeah.
Oh, right in front of the New York crowd, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But you're right, Lamar Jackson, Orioles, give Lamar a call. You don't have to negotiate through the Ravens, whatever. Just give him a call, or call Ken Francis.
Yeah.
Call those guys. You might have to sell the entire gym like as a giveaway or something. But get Lamar out there. That would be,
if I was
that would be a lot of fun.
If I was self-negotiating for a contract like Lamar is, I would put dumb stuff like in there. Like I would say I have to be the opening day ceremonial first pitcher every single year of my contract or something.
Forget the contract. If I was Lamar, I'd call up the Orioles and say, "Hey, I want to throw out a pitch," and they'll bring him in.
I'd bring him in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Right. I'd think of anything like that. I'd call the Hippodrome and say, "Hey, I want to say hi to everyone before I go." I'd just be like, "Hey, I'm going to make all these Baltimore fans love me so much that the Ravens have to pay me money."
Yeah.
But I guess Lamar doesn't really want to be in Baltimore.
Well, actually,
that makes it complicated.
We're getting on a diversion here. I think the Odell Beckham 100% solidifies that Lamar Jackson will be back.
Oh, I do. I think the opposite.
Oh.
I think it means we're moving on.
No, I think the deal makes no context about that. And Lamar and him are like good friends too. So I think it's a 1-year deal. He's gonna do the 1 year.
Oh, you think it's 1 year to get Lamar to play on the
franchise tag. And it's Super Bowl or bust. So let's go.
All right. Well, they got if it's Super Bowl or bust, they got a little bit more work to do.
I think their offense is done. I think their offense is legit now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's getting distracted here.
Yeah. Anyway, back to opening day.
Yeah, before we get to the game itself, and I thought it was a great game opening day.
Yeah.
Josh, thoughts about the stadium, about some of the renovations? You know,
all right.
Did you miss not seeing the
problem.
Sun sign? Thoughts?
This is where as we get into this stadium talk and open days, we've been to a lot of opening days. We've been to thousands of Oriole games at Camden Yards. This is where we're going to start being
hundreds. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, we've had season tickets for 25 years.
Yeah.
No, longer than that. 30 years.
Yeah, but even if you go to 10 games a year for 25 years, that's 250. You have to go to double that to get to 500.
Yeah, but a couple of those years we were going to 25, 30 games. I don't know. All right,
hundreds of games. I'm going to go hundreds of games.
We've been to plenty of games. So this is going to be
thousands of Oriole games.
This is going to be we've watched thousands of Oriole games. Yes. So this is going to be a little bit of old man yelling at clouds.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the stuff that was kind of pre-announced. So the sun sign going away.
Yeah, was that weird for you to see?
Only at one point when the ball was hit up and I asked you, is it an error? And I looked up and there was no sun to see if it was flashing.
Yeah.
I think it looks silly and it's a big empty hole.
It does look like a noticeable gap for fans to know. Yeah.
It screams sponsor this stadium.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if the negotiation with the Sun wasn't, hey, the Sun doesn't want to advertise anymore, but was the Orioles going to the Sun and saying, hey, to have a sign that prominent in this stadium, it needs to be the Sun's park at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Like you have to put up a lot more money because we're selling the naming rights.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how long there's a gap there. I bet by next year there's something in that spot.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Maybe they'll use it to advertise like Bruce Springsteen coming to town or something.
That's possible.
So, it just looks odd. And then, what's the name of the new bar that's taking Dempsey's place?
Something sport. The sports books. We have sports bar or something.
Sports book without a book, right? Sports. It's a
book is in there, isn't it?
But it's book in there, but then there's no betting in there. Now
there's no betting.
Do you think what happened is they want to open a sports book like we've been saying for years, and they couldn't get all the legal stuff squared away for this season?
Super Book Bar.
Super Book Bar.
Super Book Bar and Restaurant. I remember it being hard to say. Super Book Bar and Restaurant.
Super Book Bar.
But Super Book is a website.
All right. So
they're the sponsor.
But it must be that they couldn't get the gambling license in straightened properly to have it in the stadium, or MLB doesn't have, or an MLB rule or something where they're planning to have real gambling in there, right?
Yeah. If you go, Josh, if you go to superbook.com,
yeah,
it says that where do you want to play? Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, New Jersey, Tennessee, Iowa, Ohio, coming soon, Indiana, Louisiana, Virginia, and Maryland. So it's coming soon to Maryland.
All right, because they advertise, hey, come into the sports book and place bets on your phone, which is a whole different conversation because I did that all weekend. And DraftKings in the stadium betting on at-bats and betting on pitches is a game changer for me. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It made baseball, it made sitting there more entertaining. It was, as much as I love baseball, putting $1 on what's going to happen next at bat made it exciting for my wife and everything. It was fun.
Yeah, but yeah, you're a degenerate. Okay,
but here's my problem with Sportsbook. Well, I believe I warned you not to download the app.
Once I did not download the app. I want no part of that because I will lose money. The house always wins.
Because you and I are the same.
And I'm an idiot. So yeah, I'm not downloading that.
I don't know how many times this weekend I bet on Ryan Mountcastle to hit a home run, and he never did.
Yeah. And then the second, and then here's why I hate gambling. The second Ryan Mountcastle hits a home run, you're gonna say, yes, he hit a home run, and then your next one gonna be crap. I should have bet on him to hit a home run. Right. So it's just a lose-lose.
Exactly. But here's my problem with the sports book. Besides the obvious that there's no gambling at the sports book, they're clearly the main advertiser. Their signage is all over the place. They have a brand new sign on the warehouse, and it's an ugly, bright yellow sign. When part of Utah Street has been, let's get this old school look. Everything's got the orange signage. Everything's got this orange glow. And they couldn't negotiate for Sportsbook to use an orange version of their logo for the warehouse. That's my problem.
My problem.
And that's my old man.
Yeah, here's my old man problem. And this is in keeping with, I think, my first response. Especially, I think about this more as raising a young person who's going to be an Orioles fan, is an Orioles fan. Like, I want them to have some appreciation of the history. Like Jim Palmer before my time, but I'm very familiar with Jim Palmer, right? Earl Weaver before my time, very familiar with Earl Weaver. Like, I want my son to have some notion of Orioles history. And I feel like these are small moves, like taking Dempsey's. Correct. But Dempsey's was not just the name of the restaurant. It was an ode to Orioles history. And so I feel like you're just taking a little bit of Orioles history away every time you do one of these things.
And you're making Camden Yards generic.
Yeah, exactly.
You take away the Baltimore Sun sign. You put another name on it. You're making it generic like any other ball club. You're right. It should have been Super Brooks, and it'd be Brooks Robinson's place.
Yeah, some connection.
It needs to be like in Back to the Future 2, where Biff has a casino and there's a big neon of his face. We need a big neon Brooks Robinson, and it's Brooks Sportsbook.
Yeah, though I'm not sure Brooks wants to be associated with that. If I was him, I wouldn't. But yeah,
I mean, for money, the Orioles don't have a great gambling history, but you could come up with some type of tie-in.
Yeah. Josh, you went to the team store. I didn't even go in the team store because the line.
Team store is completely it's renovated and it's in aisles and stuff, and it's a lot of nice new product. I was definitely checking it out. There's a T-shirt I might pick up today that I liked. I bought a blanket.
Josh is going under, just going to cover as a spy in there to steal ideas.
No, I maybe, but no, a lot of cool things. I do like the renovations of the team store. It's nice. I really like, and I don't know if I've missed this in previous years, that Birdland members that we get 25% off food, beverages, and merchandise just by flashing the little card. So
Berlin members and family. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are members. Those are our seats.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that aspect of it. I took advantage of that at the concessions multiple times. The store's all good. Again, it's really crowded, so it's tough to like check out the new food offerings. I did find there's over on the third base side, there's a new food cart, which is like a pop-up shop for little local companies where they don't need to commit for the whole year, but they can come in and represent their restaurant for like a series.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I like that. Or maybe it's a homestand. I like that. So I went there and got a burger from some place I've never heard of, but because they're a little small shop in Baltimore, that was cool to support them. But
right. Yeah, I had really no other thoughts about the new additions outside of the sportsbook bar.
We saw the wall last year. So no change there. I really didn't notice much changes in Camden Yards. But they still cannot figure out when it's a sellout to have enough employees to manage the concessions. And I don't know if the Orioles will ever be able to get that. I also know that that's kind of the state of the service industry right now, that restaurants don't have enough staff. So I guess it makes sense that Camden Yards would also not have enough staff.
Yeah, I don't know how staffing works for that because like I have a friend who works concessions for the Orioles, but they're not employed by the Orioles. They do it for like fundraising stuff. And so
they signed a new deal. The Orioles signed a new vendor deal this year with a new concession company.
But you only really need max concessions for like opening day, like the opening weekend. and then what, he's supposed to just fire everybody? Like, I think it's a tricky situation.
I went to one hot dog stand and all they were selling was chips and beer.
Yeah, there's also like lack of
because they didn't have enough chefs.
Yeah. Also, when did this go away? Did this go away with COVID? When you had vendors who would go in the stands, right, and sell things? Is that not a thing anymore?
I saw a beer vendor on Sunday. It's the first one I've seen in the upper deck.
Okay.
Because I had the same issue where what happened to the beer vendors is because we don't
sit watch the whole game.
Anymore.
You get a hot dog, pretzel,
especially with this pitch clock. That's heaven for a beer vendor. Like get out there and sell stuff, and go beyond the hot dogs and the beer, because now people don't want to get up.
I thought about making my own business, Josh, and buying 10 beers at the thing and then going around the stands and selling them at a profit.
It's a good idea,
but my own thing.
It's a good idea, but they limit you to 2.
Because clearly there was more people who wanted access to these things than that were able to get access. I would have bought a beer if the line wasn't 100 miles long.
You told me
you lost out a lot of money.
You told me a story about a beer vendor kind of quitting and just walking away.
Yeah.
And I then read the same story in the Baltimore Banner, so I know you're not full of crap.
Oh, no, I was walking there with Silas, and the guys left, and then a woman came up and scooped into the ice like 3 or 4 beers. And she's like, the vendors left, we're on our own. And then she like took off running.
Right.
Running back into the stands. And I got out of there because I didn't want to be in the middle of a riot or anything, but
right. The beer vendor leaves and suddenly it's Armageddon to this lady. It's the end of the world.
Yeah. Congratulations. You stole $30 a beer.
Right.
Be proud.
Well, I'm told security caught up with her.
Well, it was not. There was at least 5 people who I saw scoop beer and run.
Well, I heard they caught up to some.
Okay.
I heard some people had been grabbed and pulled aside.
Oh, well, good. It was just a weird situation because then there was still like a really long line of people waiting, not realizing what happened. It was just, but the lines for concession.
Well, that's like my chip.
It would take a couple innings to get something.
My hot dog chip line. I stood in that line for a long time thinking I was buying a hot dog.
Yeah.
And didn't know until I got up to the touch screen that all they had was chips. There was a long line behind me, and I'm sure none of those people know either because the store was called Camden Frank's.
Yeah.
Again, missed opportunity with Frank Robinson.
Yeah. I ended up getting ice cream because there was no line at ice cream.
But it was 30 degrees.
Yeah. But the game itself, Josh, it was a great opening day game. It was back and forth. You had Adley with like the 8-pitch at bat come up with the clutch hit. You had that great defensive play at third by Arias. And then you had a classic end. Well, a little anticlimactic with what happened, but you had kind of Bautista versus Judge
Right.
in the ninth inning with a 1-run lead, and he walked him, which is a little bit anticlimactic, pitched around him. But we won opening day. Our record, Josh, at Camden Yards, just at Camden Yards, we've had a lot of bad teams at Camden Yards. Our record opening day is 22-10. That's pretty impressive for open day. If you're a betting man, bet on the Orioles to win opening day, if nothing else.
And I did.
Yeah,
Because
well, they have a good track record.
I knew that line before the game.
And 10, yeah.
And I was very curious because I knew that line for the Orioles, and I never got around to it. I wanted to look it up for other teams. Like, is there some like advantage to your home opener that teams play well?
Yeah. The other thing is, just real quick about open day, the other thing is, I was thinking about this too, like when we do, college, when you have like your, whatever it's called, homecoming, and you always play a team you're going to beat by 50 points, like in football or something. Why are we opening against the Yankees? Can't for opening day, I guess we got to open up against somebody. But I feel like, can't you give us the Athletics or something for opening day?
Well, it's like the Rays. Everyone's praising the Rays because they're like, what, 8-0, 9-0?
9-0, which I don't care who you're playing. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But Josh, go ahead and undermine their 9-0.
Yeah. No. I'm not undermining the 9-0. But on pencil, that's a 7-2 start. Worst case scenario, 6-4. Or whatever, 6-3. Because they're playing some bad teams.
Well, we'll find out because who they just played, we're about to play all those teams now. So we'll find out.
Right. Well, not quite. But yeah, to be fair, the Orioles, we get a little bit of that now because these Orioles have been fun to watch, but we get Oakland coming up, the White Sox, the Nats, the Tigers, the Red Sox again, and then the Tigers again. Like, we need to have a huge April with that type of lineup.
Oh, yeah. You could argue that the Oakland, Nats, and Tigers are the three worst teams in baseball. You could make that argument. And so we're playing, Oakland, I think, is clearly the worst team in the American League. Nats are clearly the worst team in the National League. I think the Tigers are down there as well. So you can make a legit argument.
12 games we have over the next, 15 days.
Yeah, and the White Sox so far this year are under 500. So, we're not playing anyone over 500. So this is an important stretch for the Orioles, definitely, to not just win series, but get some sweeps and stack some wins here.
Yes. But you're right. You would think they would try to balance that better so we don't get the New York Yankees for the home opener.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game. I love watching these young guys play. I love the plate discipline of Adley and Gunnar, and I think you see that then stretch into other people. I feel like Mountcastle has better discipline this year.
Yeah, I saw a stat on yesterday's game. You didn't see it because you were there, but it said in terms of pitches per plate appearance, so far this year, the Orioles were number one. It was like a little over 4 pitches per plate appearance. We were first in baseball for how many pitches we were seeing at the plate.
That passes the eye test. Yeah. I've definitely noticed the difference there, and I love it. It forces pitchers. We've had way too many years of leading the league in strikeouts, so to force the pitchers to actually have to make good pitches and get on base and walks, and we're seeing it by when we walk, we steal. It's exciting. It's a fun style of baseball.
Yep, and I think Adley does that best. I think Gunnar has a really good eye, so I think that's going to be a continuing theme that the Orioles are producing players who are good at plate discipline. That's something they excel with.
Are we no longer allowed to complain this year? Did we run out of complaints? Was last year our only complaint year of that would have been a home run with the old wall?
Yeah,
are we not allowed to say that anymore?
Aaron Judge hit that home run that went with like a foot of being with the wall, but he hit it towards the bullpen area, so it just snuck out.
Yeah, it just snuck out. Mountcastle had some warning tracks shots.
Yeah, I think in the series, the wall hurt us more than it hurt the Yankees.
It did. Yes. Yeah. But I think we're not allowed to talk about that anymore, right? Now we just accept it as that's our ballpark.
Yeah. I think we can still complain about Yankee Stadium and their minor league ballpark or their little league ballpark.
Right. Yeah, that's why Aaron Judge gets the big numbers. But also Aaron Judge is really, really good.
He is. Yeah, he's very good. I think we're done complaining about it. You know who also is really good, Josh? What are your thoughts on Frenchie Cordero, a guy who we cut?
We cut this offseason, right?
During spring training.
That's what I mean.
He had a great spring training.
And we wanted to keep Ryan McKenna.
Yeah, who cost us a game in Boston. And Frenchie Cordero, who hit 2 home runs in the series.
By the way, I do not blame Ryan McKenna for that loss in Boston.
Okay.
I blame the TV announcers.
Duly noted.
because the
The
TV
TV
announcers. Yeah, watch that replay. They're calling it as a pop fly out, and the game's over before he catches it.
Um, but no, Frenchie Cordero is killing us. Josh, do you blame Mike Elias for cutting Frenchie Cordero?
No, every player gets hot at some point.
Okay, so you're not concerned about this.
I don't think that's going to be a full season of what he's doing now.
Yeah.
He got hot in Baltimore. He maybe had a little extra to prove this weekend in Baltimore. Maybe he plays better in the cold weather, and things are going to warm up, and that guy's going to be a no-name.
Yeah, I mean, he has a pretty good track record of being an average to below average major league hitter and a definitely below average fielder. So I'm curious to see. I don't think he'll still be on the team come July, but it's weird that we're cutting guys who are good enough to start for the Yankees. And it's unfortunate that he crushed us in that series.
Right. Yeah, it's just bad timing.
Yeah. Any other takeaways from the series against the Yankees, Josh?
No, I mean, the Yankees are good. We knew they were going to be good. It sucks because here's the problem. The Orioles got a lot of hits, but we did a horrible at getting guys around the bases. We left a lot of runners in scoring position, a lot of struggles because we'd get to first, we'd be able to steal, get to second. We got into scoring position, no problem. We were not knocking guys in, and these were both close games with the Yankees where a couple more runs would have made the difference. So it's disappointing, and it's something that we got to clean up is getting hits with base runners.
Yeah, I mean, you can do this all day when you have two good teams with the Yankees and Orioles, but there was some balls that for the Orioles that we had a lot of warning truck power, and you just like if you could have just gotten hit the ball a little bit harder, got a little less under it, they would have been home runs.
Right. I mean, we lost by 3 runs and then we lost by 2 runs.
Yeah.
So those are close games.
Yeah.
And there's no question the Yankees are better than the Orioles right now.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Offensively, who's better?
The Orioles might be better offensively. Pitching, the Yankees are better.
You look at the bottom 3 in the lineup. They were doing Aaron Hicks, Volpe, who looks overmatched,
and Cordova.
And then you compare it to our bottom 3.
Yeah.
No. I think top to bottom. I mean, Aaron Judge is better than anyone on the Orioles offensively, but I think top to bottom, our lineup is better than their lineup.
Yeah.
Josh,
we have a better lineup. Our starting pitching.
Who's got a better starting pitching?
The Yankees.
Oh, I disagree, especially now because what's the lefty they just signed that we should have signed in the offseason? He's been hurt. He's been out. Cortez is back, and he looks pretty good. But I mean, I think they're starting. They have a lot of Carlos Rondon is who I was thinking of. They have a lot of unknowns in terms of starting pitching.
Yeah, I don't.
I would say we're close to like maybe I don't know.
I think we have a chance.
Pitching's close,
but I think track record wise, they're still a little better. I think that the Brito guy on Saturday looked good pitching.
He's a rookie. Brito, yeah, he looked good.
And then Cortez
is great. Yeah, he's a great pitcher. Yeah,
as well. So
and they have Garrett Cole, and Garrett Cole's great, and we didn't see him. Yeah,
I love the Orioles lineup. I feel hopeful about the Orioles rotation, but until the Orioles prove it, you got to give it to the Yankees. And I think that's what we saw this weekend is close games where they pulled out just a little ahead.
Well, I think the biggest.
And we'll get there.
I think the biggest disparity, and I think you're right. Probably the starting pitching is a little bit better. The biggest disparity to me, though, is the bullpen. They have guys coming in the 5th, 6th inning throwing 99 miles per hour who are
correct,
legit, really good pitchers. They have arguably the best bullpen, one of the best bullpens of baseball, and our bullpen's just not. Well, you can blame the injury on Tate and Givens, and Voth has really struggled this year. And our bullpen, I mean, we're relying too much on guys like Logan Gillespie to get big outs. And
that's where it gets interesting with when Bradish is back off the IL. Do you move a guy like Wells into the bullpen to stabilize things there?
Yeah, because right now our it feels like middle relief. Like if we can get to Cieno Perez and Bautista, we're okay. But getting between our starting pitching to our back end,
you got these guys like Wells and DL Hall, which could be like established, like they could be really good bullpen guys, but you want them to be really good starting pitching, so you're kind of holding them out of the bullpen. At some point, you're going to have to make some adjustments someone's got to go in the bullpen out of this starting rotation and out of these guys. And hopefully that stabilizes things later in the season.
Yeah, it still feels a little bit like spring training in the sense that, I do think guys like Wells are pitching for their future, right? For pitching to make the rotation, and if they struggle, they'll be knocked out of the rotation. If they pitch well, they'll stay in there. But yeah, I mean, I think we need to figure out this bullpen thing. I don't know if the answers are in the minors. Maybe we can look there, but
we've played 9 games and we've used six pitchers
as starters. You're saying?
Yeah, we've used 6 starters. We've had 6 different guys start games out of our 9 games. Yeah. Which, I mean, you and I were pushing for the 6-man rotation at the beginning of the season, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened, just kind of accidentally, right. And maybe they'll keep it up. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's something that struck me watching that series is how good their middle relievers were and how ours were lacking,
right,
to say the least. So we'll see how that plays out. And hopefully, I don't know when Tate and Gibbons can come back, but I think that's going to be a boost for the bullpen as well.
It will be. And I think going through these lesser opponents for the next 3 weeks is also going to be like a build up some confidence with this team. I think this team already has a lot of confidence. I think we see this team blend in really well. They like each other. It seems like they all kind of feel like they got a chance. They're going to surprise people. And I think you could get some real good bonding with a great winning streak coming up here.
Yeah. I mean, it's always, it's dangerous being the victim of the series, of recency bias, right? And I feel like after the Boston series, we're like, oh no, panic mode. Right. And then after the Texas season, it was like, well, we could, have the best record in baseball. And then after the Yankee series, like, oh man, after opening day, you were feeling good, but then after the last 2 games, you're feeling less good about this team. But yeah, I mean, we have a soft part of the schedule coming up, so we're gonna find out. Hopefully, like we think we're better than all the teams we're playing. So hopefully the Orioles go out there and prove it and show it.
Right.
And I think next week we'll be having a very optimistic conversation about this.
Oh, I can't wait. That's like I almost when we were thinking through like scheduling for today and all, it's like, can we squeeze one in this year? And it was like this week, or do we need to take a week off? And it was like, well, I want to talk all the opening day stuff because next week it's going to all be about how great the Orioles are doing.
It better be, or there's going to be trouble in Birdland.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be an extreme either side next week.
Yep. Agreed.
So you have any issues with traveling up and down?
As far as
your flight coming up to Maryland. I mean, this is the first time you and I watched the baseball game together in a while.
Yeah, no, I mean, going through security always stresses me out. And now being responsible not just for myself, but for a 5-year-old going through security, stressing me out even more. And like my stress is palpable, so he gets stressed at my stress. So there was an incident with shoes where I guess little kids don't need to take their shoes off. So you're just taking shoes off, putting shoes on. And then like through security, like people telling him different things and kind of he's getting flustered. So that always is stressful, but we made it. And the flight was simple and easy, short flight, less than 2 hours from Atlanta to Baltimore. So all that was the flight stuff was all good. Early flights. I mean, we flew out of there at 6 a.m. We flew back here. So that was a long day yesterday, but no, it made me realize that even going for the weekend is doable because the flights are so easy if you can find good ticket prices, which we were able to. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I've done in the past. And especially if you can come home for a series where they're not playing the Yankees, so you save a little bit of money there, you could definitely make up that money in the flight. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: if ticket prices being where they are, if I want to take 3 people to a game and pay for parking, that experience of going to the game and paying for parking, even with 2 people, if you got food and stuff, that's more expensive than the flight I took from Atlanta to Baltimore. So that's just reality of the situation. And I was confused. I'm confused with the food policy now at Camden Yards. I can take stuff in, right? But I can't take bags in. So I can still take a sub in as long as I carry the sub in my hand, right? Or in a clear bag, or in a small clear bag. Small clear bag. All right. You could put in a big Ziploc or something. Got it. All right. Might have to do that tonight. And that was the rule last year with the big Ziplocs. They just didn't allow food. I took a fanny pack and I filled my fanny pack with snacks. Okay. Can I carry a cardboard box in? A cardboard box. I don't think if I want to pick up a Lido pizza on the way to the game tonight. Can I carry that into the stadium? No, but you can break it up into slices and put it in big Ziploc bags, and you can. All right. I might have to do that tonight.
I've been hitting all the food spots that I miss when I'm in Florida. And introducing to Owen and those to the point that Owen said yesterday, I think I'd like to live in Maryland more than Florida. I said, why? He said, well, because of Camden Yards and because of all the food places here.
That's funny.
And I'm not going to fancy places. I have about 4 or 5 places that I like to hit
you're
up.
not really a fancy restaurant kind of guy.
No. I'm a Lido's, Chevy's, Mother's, and Rita's. I think those were the places I hit up. Maybe one other place. Oh, Potbelly. Potbelly was the other one. So just a few things we don't have down in Florida.
Yeah, I think, and listen, Sash grew up in Maryland, so there's no, I mean, I think I bought his ice cream. I think it's the only time I spent money
right
to buy his
no, trust me, all these food places was for me. They were all, I missed them.
Yeah.
Can I complain about the Orioles Radio Network's opening day party?
Oh yeah, be free. By the way, the pregame stuff, I don't remember this. Like maybe this was always a thing, but we parked too far away for $25. And then we must walk through no less than 4 pregame things. I didn't realize that was such a big deal.
No, it's got to be winning baseball brings back pregame parties.
Yeah.
And I sure wish they kept the game on Thursday with the 80 degrees. Would have been way nicer for the pregame parties. All right, now let me tell you. Let me start this with saying, go on over to birdlandsports.com. because we're going to have different shirts on sale for $10 a piece because I've got extra inventory left over thanks to the Orioles Radio Network. So if you go on over there today, you can get the 2023 World Series Championship T-shirts for $10.
I wore that to opening day. It's a good shirt.
Yeah, and I'm giving you a heads up here on Section 336 first. Go on over there, $10 while supplies last. There's not many of them, but go check them out and get them.
And I think that's going to be an even higher demand shirt in July when we're closer to that 2023.
Correct.
Prediction.
Yeah, get it now so you can tell your friends I told you so.
Yeah.
You want to have the one that's nice and faded and worn in by July.
Yeah. I've had mine for years. I do.
All right. So Orioles Radio Network offered Birdland Sports this opportunity to have a booth at their opening day festivities, at their opening day party. And it sounded like a good idea to me. We offered a good deal. So I said, all right, I printed up a bunch of T-shirts. I printed out a bunch of flyers. They told me 18,000 people came through their pregame party last year. So I agreed. I went and set up. They gave me the location. I got there at 9 a.m. I set up. Here's the problem. They fenced in their pregame party, and they left all the vendors outside the fence. They then put the entrance to the pregame party on the opposite side of all the vendors. So they told me 18,000 people, and I sat out there in the cold all day from 9 a.m.
rain
till 3 p.m. and rain.
Yeah.
They told me to expect 18,000 people. I handed out about 200 flyers for Birdland Sports and Section 336. Do you want to know how many T-shirts I sold?
How many T-shirts you sell? I'm guessing not how many you brought.
3. 3 T-shirts.
Yeah.
And I paid for this booth to be part of the pregame festivities, and they fenced all the people out of it. And here's the other stop. They put us over by the light rail, but then they directed traffic away from the vendors so that all the people would walk up and around behind all the vendors. So it wasn't just me that was upset. All the vendors were upset.
Yeah,
they didn't direct any people in front of mine. You came by the booth and saw. Yeah, it was ridiculous where they had us to say we were part of that party.
And I saw the sign, and I entered into the festivities, and it was jam packed.
Yeah.
And I was like looking for your table, and then I finally got to the end and realized you weren't there. And then I saw you, but then I couldn't even access you because there was a barricade in the way.
It's ridiculous.
I was like, I don't know how to get out of here.
Hey, nice.
Get access to the table, so I had to navigate my way around to find an exit of the barricade to then walk around and get to you. It was silly.
I sent a nice stern email to the Orioles Radio Network, which is the Hearst company, WBAL and 98 Rock. Nice stern email to them complaining to the rep there saying, hey, this was misleading and falsely promoted, and you misled me in the sale of this booth and false advertising. So we'll see how that goes. But I have to complain a little bit on here about it because it was so bad. But here's the bright spot of my entire day there.
Yeah.
A couple came up, and I forgot to ask their names because I was thrown off a little bit. But husband and wife come up, and Owen hands them a flyer, and she goes, "Are you Josh?" and yells across because she's a listener. So I got to say thank you to the listener because she said how she's mentioned how her husband listens for the sports talk and the Orioles breakdown, and she listens for all the personal stuff we get into in the little league talk.
Yeah.
So nice to meet them. That was highlight of my day. Said goodbye to them. I met a couple other listeners throughout the day too, but this one in particular stood out because as soon as they walked away, Owen turned to me and said, "Wait, people actually listen to your podcast?" And then he caught me a couple other times with listeners throughout the weekend, and now he thinks I'm a celebrity.
Yeah.
So that's very good. I enjoyed that.
The husband and wife thing is cool. That's hard to do. I can't think of any podcast that has to do with my wife. I guess maybe a couple of news podcasts with the wife, but
no, none.
Yeah, so that's when you can pull off the wife husband combo. That's quite the compliment. So yeah, that's cool to hear.
Right. There's some murder podcasts that occasionally I'll listen to that my wife listens to, but I don't really listen to the murder podcast that much.
I mean, I can't even get my wife to listen to this podcast that I'm on.
Correct.
Because it deals with Orioles, too much with Orioles.
Yep.
So that's cool.
But that was cool, and and Owen's all excited because I'm a Baltimore celebrity.
Yeah. Sweet.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not an active member of Berlin Sports. That's your thing. So I care more about our listeners coming up and saying, "Hey," than I do selling T-shirts. That's
cool.
I'll
also tell you the other half of that flyer that went out to 200 people was for Section 336.
Oh, sweet.
So hopefully maybe
there's
some new listeners listening to that, checking us out as well.
Yeah,
through there.
Absolutely, Josh. Before we get out of here, any reviews you want to share?
Oh yeah, let me pull up the reviews. I'll tell you my last complaint about the weekend is simply the weather. For being a Florida boy, I have grown accustomed to the Florida weather, and I think you may have a little bit in Georgia as well.
I guess I didn't really mind the cold at all. To be honest, I thought I'd be more bothered by the cold.
I was bothered. I was bothered by the cold a little bit more than I expected. I grew accustomed to it, so like. Yesterday's game I went to in just a T-shirt because I had to prove I'm a Maryland guy.
Yeah.
And
no, I was wearing 3 layers, but
oh no, I mean, but yeah, I was wearing a hoodie and sweatshirts.
Yeah.
We've got in the past week we've got 2 reviews that came in. I want to thank everyone for these reviews. Please keep on sending your reviews
Operation
over to iTunes.
Move Jay Gibbons to the bottom of the review.
Yeah, cancel Jay Gibbons.
Yeah.
All right. Great from a faraway fan. Living in Texas, I don't get much O's talk. These guys keep me up to date with the right mix of O's, news, and enjoyable chit chat. The only issue I had for the longest time was I put the wrong voice to face from their pod photo. Still trying to untangle that mess in my brain. Keep up the great work, guys. Never change. Velvet Revolver fan sent that in. And if you're paying attention and you're looking at the artwork right now, I am Josh. I am the one wearing the Oriole hat.
What, are we live streaming this somewhere? Or no, this
no, but when you listen to it on your app, you can look at the picture and see.
Oh, there's an image that comes when you're listening to it. I see.
You know, our artwork, how it shows you and me sitting there in orange shirts.
Yeah. And I don't even know what I look like. How are you describing yourself right now, Josh?
I'm looking at the picture. I'm wearing an Orioles hat and glasses. You are wearing glasses and no hat. I've got the tattoo. You are on the left-hand side.
Okay, I got a more fully grown beard in there.
You've got the bigger beard and more hair.
Yeah.
So I guess he's been mixed up on who is who of our cartoon pictures.
Okay.
So other one came in from Ryan from New York, which I love that all our listeners are from all over the world. It's fun to hear more and more people around the world checking out Section 336.
Yeah, as we are part of that population now too. Yeah.
Yeah. Best Orioles podcast around, 5 stars. I've been listening to these guys for about 7 years now. And can I just say they are a must listen for any Orioles fan? Josh and Matt are great hosts and their banter is just top notch. Being from New York, it's great to hear consistent conversations from Oriole fans who have lived in the area and now out of state, which makes it both insightful and relatable. Also, the fact that they talk about their personal lives really makes it feel like you're a part of the conversation between friends, which is different from most sports shows. It's a great listen, and let's go O's.
7 years is the true coconut right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're 10 years in. That guy's been listening for 7. And I'll tell you what, it's more than listening to Friends Talk because we're brothers. So you're part of our family if you're listening to Section 336. And Matt, if you want to have some fun, I know we just promoted Section 336, but while you're over there writing us an iTunes review, just do a quick search for Orioles under your podcast app, and you'll say, "Oh, this show, I've never heard of this. They have 1 episode. They have 2. They have 3. Oh, they did one 15 years ago, and now they're doing another one." It's a lot of people hopping on the bandwagon. There's very few.
Listen, there's plenty of room for everyone. There's plenty of room for everyone. But good luck finding a podcast that's been out there for 10 years.
Right. I think we've got our track record proven. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Someday we have to build this up to pass down to our sons.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I'm just trying to get my kids not to be a Braves fan. So
hey, you and I both.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get out of here. Anything else you want to push or promote before we get out of here?
No, go over to Birdland Sports, get those 2023 shirts, and then I'll have some more up once those are gone. But $10 a shirt, you can't beat it.
All right, guys. Follow us on Facebook, rate us a review on iTunes. You can follow me on Twitter at Section336. You can follow Josh on Twitter
at Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.